Napi stories. Napi was given powers from the Creator's Son to shape the world of the Blackfoots, the land of four-legged animals, the birds, the berries, the rivers, lakes, and so on. He had done a good job, but as time went along, he started overdoing things with his powers for his own good. Napi is also known as the trickster, the troublemaker, the foolish person, and sometimes he'll even murder for food. Other legends that are similar to Napi are Waisaki Jack, the Crees, Nanabush, the Ojibwas, and Goose Gap, the Micmacs. They're all the same being as Napi. They created their worlds there. Today I'm going to tell you a story about Napi and the rock. One day Napi was walking along with his friend Coyote, and it was getting hot. It was really getting hot. And he was carrying his rope on his arm, and it seemed like it was getting heavy. And they were just walking, and all of a sudden they came across this great big mighty rock. So what Napi did was he went up to the rock and took his rope and put it over. And he told the rock, "You can have my rope." And off they went, him and his friend the Coyote. They were walking along. And no sooner the clouds start forming, dark clouds, and it started thundering and raining. And Napi told his friend Coyote, "Run back and get my rope from the rock," because the Coyote was so fast on his feet. And off he ran, got to the rock, and told him Napi wants to know if he can have his rope back. And the rock got really mad, and he told him, "When you give something, you don't take it back." "No, I'm not giving it back to Napi." So the fox runs back to Napi and tells him what the rock said. Napi got really mad. He turned around and went back to the rock. He got there and he just took the rope and pulled it off the rock, and he told him this rope was mine in the first place. He covered himself and started walking. Well, no sooner the rain stopped and the sun came out, and they were really happy, him and his friend the Coyote, because the sun was drying them up. And then all of a sudden, his friend Coyote got excited and started jumping up and down. And Napi and the Coyote told Napi, "Run, Napi, the rock is coming. It's chasing us now." Napi looked back. He just had time to jump out of the way the rock went by him. And the chase started, and the rock started chasing Napi. And Napi would just barely has time to jump out of the way, the rock. And finally the Coyote thought, "Well, he's not after me. He's after Napi." So what he did, he ran a different direction and sat there and watched his friend Napi getting chased by the rock. He felt bad because he couldn't really do anything for his friend. So Napi and the rock kept this chase. They went over creeks, up hills, or rivers. They just ran for the longest time. Over the prairie they ran. And it was getting evening. Napi was jumping out of the way, and a lot of times just about gets run over by the big rock. And the big rock was really mad at Napi. It's to a point where Napi was thinking, "Well, I'm just going to give up. I can't keep on. I can't. I'm just getting so tired." Just when he felt like giving up, and the nighthawk seen Napi. And he said, "Look at Napi, our brother. He's in trouble. That rock is chasing him." let's go help him. So the hawks flew to Napi, and drop they start diving down to him with their droppings from their stomach. And they just kept on doing this. Then finally the rock got smaller and smaller, and but they just kept on going until the rock wasn't big enough, and it stopped, and Napi was saved. He was so happy. But he didn't know how to thank the nighthawks. So he picked up his rope and continued walking. And as he was walking along, he seen this nest. In the nest were all these baby hawks. Well, instead of Napi being nice to these baby hogs, he went there and ripped their mouths open wider. On all of them individually, he ripped their mouths. At the end of their mouths, there was blood. And and then Napi continued walking. And then the parents came home, the nighthawks, the parent nighthawk, and then they seen their babies, and they thought someone had come to feed them. So finally they asked them, "Who came to feed you?" And the babies said, "No one came to feed us. It was Napi. He came and ripped our mouths wider." Well, the parents were so mad. They called other nighthawks, and they went looking for Napi. And Napi had walked quite a long ways by this time. When they caught up with Napi, they start diving down to Napi and and start hitting them with from their stomach those gas, and they were just doing it and just continued hitting Napi. Finally, his rope was in shreds and his clothes. And finally, Napi had no more clothes and he fell. And then the nighthawks turned around and flew home. And Napi laid there and he was full of droppings. And he thought, I gotta find water to clean myself. So this story started from from Montana. Um, it's called Lake Fraser, and uh, and it ended in Okotoks, west of the town. And today you can still see the rock there, where where Napi was chased by the rock.